My name is Daniel Rosenburg. I'm from a company called Gravitas International. We're the manufacturers of the HydroSac and HydroSnake flood protection products, alternatives to sandbags. Now, what I'm going to do today is demonstrate to you the technology that is utilised by these two products, why they are a safer and easier alternative to sandbags when it comes to flood protection and water diversion. So, these two here, we have the HydroSnake that is coloured red, 3 sections, the equivalent of 3 sandbags end to end. One pack holds 2 units, so the equivalent of 6 sandbags. And we also have the HydroSac, which is again 3 sections per product. This is 3 sections side by side, like a Kit Kat with handles. Again, 2 units per pack, so the equivalent of 6 sandbags per pack. Each pack weighs less than a kilo. Can be stored for up to 5+ years in a shed or in the cupboard under the sink, in the garage or on the back of a van, ready to be deployed in the event of a flood. Now, these products are better than sandbags for a number of reasons. One being they are cheaper in the long run with regard to labour, with regard to the product, and with regard to storage and disposal. The HydroSac and HydroSnake utilise a non-woven polypropylene fabric. HydroSac is blue, HydroSnake is red, which will absorb water upon touching. Each unit will absorb up to 20 litres/kilos of water in a matter of minutes, which I'm going to demonstrate to you now. The best way we've found to activate them in anticipation of a flood to create a barrier is to fill a bucket of water, or do it in the bath or the kitchen sink, and simply submerge and allow it to soak for a matter of minutes. Now, what's happening in there, like with a nappy or with, thank you very much, carry on, like with a nappy or sanitary wear or incontinence pads, there's a chemical in there called super absorbent polymer that is eco-friendly and degradable, and it's mixed with what's called wood pulp, so fluff. And the two in there help to absorb and stabilise and lock in up to 20 litres/kilos of water per unit. Now, I'm going to demonstrate, just while that is absorbing, how the technology works with a glass of water. And I brought with me some super absorbent fabric, so essentially the exact same product that's in the inside, except put into like paper or tissue format. Now, we're just going to place a couple of these in. And you see, as what's happening in the product there, straight away, if you're able to see, I'm not sure if you are, but that there is starting to absorb the water, and the tiny minuscule granules inside are already turning into a type of gel. I'll leave that there, and as this is absorbing, you can see already something that weighed less than half a kilo has already taken on a considerable amount of weight. So that's about 50% of the weight it's going to take up. Now, if you've got ample warning that a flood is coming, you're able to soak these either in a bucket or even spraying on the ground in situ with a hose pipe. Much easier to put in place than a sandbag. There's less risk of injury to the user, so anybody can use them. You can have Mrs. Smith down the road, bring up the product to a front door and have a neighbour or a colleague or a friend or a family member spray them or soak them for them in situ where you need them, whether it's the front door, protecting the garage, protecting the garden path or the garden gate, and it will actually hold back water once fully saturated. Unlike a sandbag that, as we all know, really just slows down the water. Now, when it comes to disposal of these products, which is one of the main unique selling points, all you would have to do is slip the outer bag and pour the contents away. You can put them in your hanging baskets, or when you go on holiday, it's that same type of product whereby it's a moisture retention agent. So it's got no harmful effects on the environment and is incredibly easy and safe to dispose of. Now, we get asked all the time, can you lay these down dry in anticipation of a flood, to allow the flood water to come up to them? Now, we say you can do that, we wouldn't always recommend it, and the reason why is because, firstly, they don't weigh anything. You're putting a handful of these down, and it's fast moving flash flood water, or if the water's rising very quickly, they will most likely move out of the way if not secured down before they have a chance to absorb all the water, even if it is only a few minutes. Secondly, once these have absorbed contaminated floodwater, which we all know can be absolutely disgusting and can be classed as a biohazard risk to users, the product itself is a hazard to handle. Now, if you're pre-inflating them with fresh water, as we've done today, these here are filled with fresh water. Once they're fully saturated, will not absorb any more water. Now you can see one here that I inflated earlier that only took a few minutes. That there can be placed anywhere and moved from site to site with less of a manual handling risk. They're up to 20 kilos, so safe to handle by any health and safety standards, and handles so they're easy to move around, rather than lugging a wet sandbag that can weigh in excess of 25 kilos, depending on what type of sandbag it is, depending on what it's filled with, whereas these, maximum weight 20 kilos. The Hydro Snake, again, it's 3 sections end to end, so like 1, 2, 3, and can be carried with hands in between each section. Now, we have a look at this one here. I'd say that's just about done. Similar size to the one we did earlier, could probably even take even more water, but that there would be safe to put in front of the front door. You could use 2 of them to block up the front door in a standard size doorway, or you could use a whole load of them to create an actual barrier around a property, or to an even elongated barrier to divert water away from properties or anything you're trying to get that flood water away from. These products are not only used by end users who actually require them, they're being used by fire services, councils, charities such as CERT UK to help people all over the country. These are also used, as I mentioned, by fire services to stick in hydrant pits to prevent silting up, so that there's no delay of using a hydrant pit when a fire service comes to deal with emergency. And also a lot of councils are using them now in place of sandbags. We've had people raise queries saying they take an incredible amount of time to absorb the water, some even stating up to 45 minutes, quote unquote. As you can see from these, this here now weighs at least 15 kilos. The one that was left to completely soak, slightly more, up to 20 kilos in a matter of minutes. Now if we come to our glass of water, as you can now see, it's completely crystallized into a gel that, like this, as you can see, is completely eco-friendly and degradable. So when the flooding has subsided, you can slit the bags with a knife, pour them into the ground and allow them to degrade, where they degrade in a matter of weeks. Now, people also ask us, how long can I leave these out? Are they single use, or do I get to dry them and use them again? We designed them so that they're disposable, so they're a single use product, which means that once they've inflated, they won't go back to their original state. There are some products out there on the market that claim you can dry them out and reuse them. We tend to find these products may not have the eco-friendly, degradable, superabsorbent polymer that we use. So we have focused this product on something that is not harmful to the environment and is easily disposed of. Once saturated, these can sit outside your house, in front of your house, for a whole winter period. We say 3 to 6 months, depending on weather. Obviously, for lovely Cumbrian weather, near the 6 months. I think you're talking about somewhere down south where it gets a bit warmer, nearer the 3 months. But either way, these will sit out and protect your home, protect your doorways for a whole winter or flood season. I think that addresses most of the points. We are currently doing a big initiative to work with Carrie-Anne and Sue Dust from CERT UK, formerly in Flood Volunteers. Have you got anything you'd like to add?
I'd just like to add that if anybody is interested in having these products, they can contact the office on 01768 593 190 or email us at info@certuk.org.uk, and we can arrange for collection and or delivery of the products, and the prices we can discuss when you telephone or email us.
It might be important to know, just as a side point, which I unfortunately forgot to mention, these are the only products of their type, i.e. sandless sandbag products, that are manufactured in the UK. They are readily available from places such as CERT UK at relatively high volumes because they're made in the UK, and there's very little delay with regard to supply. So with any immediate requirement, working with the likes of CERT UK